Okay. And we're live.
Cool.
So, first podcast for VPD Online, which is a brand that this lady over here is one of the inaugural members of. Exciting stuff coming, man. And she kickstarted it in quite a special way. But we'll get around to that a little bit later on. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Just
Yeah, start off
okay,
with your
well,
name, your age. Who
my
are
name is
you, homie?
Danielle Van Wyk. 19 years old now for
Mm.
a whole day.
Yeah, that was last night. You can
and
see we still have dark rings under our eyes.
um, well, I grew up in a very loving family. They've always supported me in pretty much anything I've done, and so I guess that's kind of where maybe my drive and passion for karate comes from, probably from my family, because at first it was just something I did for fun, like I just wanted to kick butt. It was like a new thing. And thanks to my family, I think when I started taking it more seriously, it was pretty easy to I don't know, train and just stay motivated, probably because of them.
Do you feel like your family helped motivate you? Were they very supportive?
Definitely. I think they would have supported me in pretty much anything I decided. So if I would have chosen to quit karate and go a different direction, they would have probably probably not decided that for themselves, but they would have supported me in anything I've done.
Your dad does karate too, right?
He does, yes. He actually started karate, I think, maybe 7 years after I started.
Oh, so you inspired him?
Yeah, basically. I was the first person
interesting.
in my family to actually do any kind of
Really?
martial art. So it was.
Do you come from
kind
like
of a
a sporting
surprise.
background family?
I do, yeah. My father was actually, he played Rugby World Cup 3 times.
Whoa, okay.
Back when they were still the Rhinos. So that's pretty cool. And he also did athletics, and so did my mum. Yeah, he actually competed, I think, in the Master Games.
Okay.
In 2009.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of the Masters Games before, but maybe for our audience, can you explain a little bit?
Well, basically, it's kind of like I wouldn't say like the Olympics for Masters, but something quite.
So Masters is an age group, right?
Yes, 35 plus, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So my dad actually did pentathlon.
Oh,
so
cool.
For men, I think that includes javelin, shot put, long jump, 200 meters, 1,500, and 800 meters.
Okay, so you come from pretty strong athletic genetic background.
Yeah, I do. I started doing athletics when I was really young, around about 6, 7. And yeah, I kind of stopped taking it as seriously around about last year when I finished school.
As late as that? Wow.
Yeah, so I'll probably start doing that when I'm a little bit older, maybe around about 25, 26. But
so you want to go back to that?
Yeah, I definitely want to go back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for now, you're just focusing on karate.
Yeah, solely on karate.
Okay, so besides karate, what is your what takes up your time at the moment?
Well, I'm very into photography.
Okay.
As you could probably tell.
Yeah.
So
following on Instagram, guys. What's your Instagram handle again?
My Instagram handle is _Danielle Van Wyk_. That's my personal account, and then my karate account is _
Yeah, that's new.
Danielle Van Wyk.
Yeah, I remember. Well, when you won the bronze medal in Chile, I was like, man, I gotta find some karate pics of you so that I can post it on our VPD Online account.
Yeah, I think
I was like, man, these are all like artsy stuff. What am I gonna do with this shit?
Yeah, like I think I always thought about creating another account for sports, but I never really. I don't know. I didn't want to create one and then like never use it. But then I think after Chile, I was like, okay, nah, I think I need to do this now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. And where did your karate journey begin?
Oh, I was 5 years old,
Okay.
and my former coach actually did a demonstration at my preschool.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just completely in awe throughout the whole demonstration.
Mm.
I was like, oh my gosh, like this is
Mm.
something I want to do. And like I remember him saying that he'll teach us to kick butt. And like I went back to went back home to my parents and I was like, oh mama, papa, ek wil leer om te butt kick. So yeah, like I think that really took them by surprise, especially since like I mentioned, nobody in our family ever even thought about doing a martial art. So yeah, it was crazy.
Okay,
But
that's
so
awesome.
yeah, I started when I was around about 5 years
Mm.
old, 5 going on 6. So around about 14,
Mm.
13, 14 years now.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, and ever since I started, it's been like my second home, with my former coach, as well as like where I'm training at now.
Okay.
It's always been like some kind of escape to me.
Mm.
Yeah, I always feel like if I've been having a rough day or just like an emotional day, just
Mm.
training just takes my mind off it.
Yeah, I can definitely resonate with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I think a lot of our viewers are going to understand that pretty
Yeah,
well
no.
as well.
I think everybody has some sort of escape in their lives, whether it be sports or a hobby, even. Yeah, and to me, that's karate.
Yeah. So when did you start becoming successful as like an exponent?
Uh, I don't, I don't know
I
what
suppose
to
it,
say
it depends on
because
how you define success.
yeah, true. Like to me, I feel like yeah, I have been successful. I
Mm.
feel like, but to me, like the achievements and goals that I have for myself right now, I feel like if I've accomplished that, then only to myself I'll be like really successful, if that makes sense.
Well, how far off are you from achieving the goals that you've set for yourself?
To me personally, I don't feel like I'm that far off, especially like with the mindset I have now. Previously, my mindset when it came to tournaments and stuff was like not too great. So I think after Chile, just like mentally and emotionally, like physiologically, I feel like I'm capable of achieving my goals now.
Mm.
So physically, I think like in terms of training, I'm not far off, but I think it's more of a mental journey that would get me there. Because I think for any tournament, your prep mentally and emotionally is just as important, if not more, than your physical preparation.
Yeah, I can
So,
definitely resonate with that.
yeah.
Sure. Um, yeah, look, I mean, we keep on circling around this point of Santiago indirectly.
Yeah.
What happened in Santiago was quite special. Is that look, I don't know the history of South African karate very well. I'm not a textbook type of guy.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, you're the first person since '95.
2001.
Yeah, 2001 I felt was an interesting case because it was a default bronze medal as far as I
Alright.
understand. So you didn't have to win any rounds.
Okay.
Dylan something.
Dylan Harris.
Dylan
I
Harris.
Think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, it's not the same. How many rounds did you have to go through? 6, right? Something like that.
I think 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won my first. No, I won my. Yeah, I won 4 rounds and then
Okay.
last one. Yes.
Well, that's huge. I don't think you can exactly put it in the same context.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I was just exhausting, both physically, mentally, just everything. But
So talk us through the experience round for round. How did you feel about it? How did you feel arriving there? I know that like situation in Chile wasn't so great.
Oh yeah, no, with like all the protests and things
Yeah,
going on,
exactly.
like of course like our whole team was quite worried because there were quite a lot of sporting events in Chile at the time, and they actually ended up canceling quite a few. Like, I think the World Championship, the Karate World Championship, is one of the only events that actually ended up happening. Like,
Wow.
yeah, so I'm really grateful for that, because it definitely would have been a
Mm.
bummer if we had gone all that way and the event
Yeah.
would
Wow.
be cancelled. So I
Yeah.
think,
Nothing would have been refunded.
yeah, so I think in the back of our minds, that was like quite a big a worry of ours. So
Yeah.
that definitely kind of affected the mindset a little bit. But not too much, obviously, because I guess like my mindset was I was there to compete and nothing other than that. So that was kind of difficult.
That's rare, hey?
And even like on each day of the competition, only the athletes that were competing on that specific day could enter the venue. So we had
That's
little
terrible.
to no support from teammates. So that was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like little factors like that was kind of difficult to cope with, but they are external factors. So I guess like there's nothing you can do about it. So there's no point in letting it overwhelm you, you know. So yeah, so that was definitely something that affected me throughout the whole week, not even only on the day. But as soon as we got there, the nerves started kicking in, obviously. But it wasn't too bad, I guess. And then, like, when you just get into that warm-up area, it hits you.
Yeah,
So,
it does.
yeah, the warm-up area is very, very intimidating, especially because of everyone, like, warming up and, like, showing off their techniques. It's very, very intimidating. So, yeah, that was definitely difficult. But I think like with the help of our coaches, like they really helped me kind of calm down, but also like helped uplift me.
Okay.
So they kind of like settled my nerves a little
That's
bit,
good.
but also like didn't allow me to completely lose focus of
That's really
what I was
good.
actually there to do. So like for that, I'm really grateful. My first round, I went in there thinking like I can't lose the first round.
Oh wow. Okay. So you put that
Not
pressure on
that
yourself.
I did, and I guess to some extent it wasn't a great thing, but I think it's actually what got me through the first round. That like, you know, I am fighting for my country. I'm not only
Yeah, well, certain personalities thrive under pressure. That's interesting.
I'm not only fighting for myself, and like I want to be winning for my country. So I guess like that's something that really helped me push through the first round. And I think the first round was the most difficult to get through, and then thereafter nerves obviously wasn't too bad to cope with. And so on. So yeah, after my first round, like obviously I was overwhelmed going into the first round, but after that it was a little bit easier to cope with the pressure and the intimidation and everything. And yeah, round after round, I just found it a little bit easier to cope with everything. And then in the semi-final, fighting the Egyptian was very overwhelming, and I still feel like...
Did you have a sense of fear for Egypt?
Definitely, because I don't know, Egypt kind of just, they have that status.
So I haven't spoken to you about this yet, but actually I'm very close with a lot of the Egyptian national team.
All right.
Because I've been there many times, and I've trained with the national team quite a few times, and a lot of them were messaging me saying like, "Who's this Danielle girl from South Africa? Like, she's in the semi-final with our girl, man. What's going on here?" Because they know South Africa doesn't really feature on the top level that much. So they were asking me like, "What's going on, man?" But yeah, the girl that you fought has very strong support from the national team, and she's believed to be one of the stronger fighters
and she's
in the
also
national
like
team.
One of the top seniors, I believe, as well.
Yeah, she is. I think she's almost definitely in Olympics, almost certainly.
So yeah, I mean, just like being able to fight against some of the top athletes, that already was just such an honor, you know. Like fighting for my country is already just like such an honor. So even just being there is like that's something like that's something that I'm very proud of. Because like I feel like just showing up is quite tough, especially talking about how intimidating just the warm-up areas, even just like showing up to the event, even if you're not competing on the day, it's still like so intimidating. And
without a doubt.
yeah, but yeah, I'm obviously very grateful to be able to compete there, like against some of the top athletes.
How did you feel? I'm gonna just talk a little bit about the context. So, in a South African context, what you feel this bronze medal has done, not necessarily for the country, but how did your teammates contribute to it before the time? How did they react to it after the time?
Well, since our teammates could not support on the day, they made quite a huge effort to wake up early in the morning, right before the bus left, to come and wish us luck.
That's cool.
We did a lot of team building before the event, which obviously made us grow close as a group.
Yeah, since Nick was good at that.
Yeah. So that was pretty amazing, and I think that helped quite a bit, knowing that I don't only have support back home, but I do have support fairly close to the venue.
That's
so
excellent.
Even if they couldn't be there on the day, it's kind of like as if their support was kind of just lingering. So
that's really cool. That's awesome.
That's something that I really appreciated from the team. And even like after the event, coming back with the bronze medal to the hotel, every single team member came down from their rooms to come and congratulate me and take photos with me. And like that's something that I really appreciated and that I'm grateful for. Because that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorite moments of the tour.
Damn. Yeah. Look, I felt this in the past being a member of the national team. So obviously, if we take a look at the results across the World Championship, there's obviously nobody that got close to your realm, your level, in terms of result. Maybe in terms of performance, I don't know because I wasn't there. Yeah. But in terms of results, certainly there was nobody in that realm. Did you feel like on the tour and on the return home, did you feel like you're a different animal? Did you feel like you were a different type of person? Do you feel like you didn't fit in that much?
I think there were times that I did. Obviously, like I can't say for sure because I think people cope with pressure differently.
Sure.
So I don't know for sure, but I definitely felt as though maybe there were some members on the team who weren't maybe as focused for the tournament. Maybe instead of thinking about the tournament, thinking about maybe going on a holiday or something like that. So like, yeah, obviously I can't say for sure, but just sometimes it felt as though some of the athletes weren't taking it as seriously as they could have. But then again, like I cope with pressure and things like that differently.
Did it have a negative effect?
I guess it kind of had a negative effect, especially because all of the athletes weren't competing on the same day.
Okay.
So obviously, like some of the athletes and we competed at, on the last day, the under 21 females. Yeah. So I think that was kind of difficult because I guess as soon as you are done competing, you kind of go into this holiday mode. Because obviously it's normal for any athlete because like you relax now after the tournament, you're not as stressed, as focused, I guess. So I think it was difficult to sort of surround myself with some of the other teammates who have already competed.
Yes.
Because I also don't want to get into the mindset of, oh, okay, I can relax now, like, you know. So I guess it was definitely difficult to kind of stay focused. Not that like I'm not saying that you can't have fun or like hang out with people before the tournament, because sometimes it's good to kind of distract yourself and not like let the nerves get the better of you.
Of course.
Also depending on what kind of person you are. So for me, like I don't like always like to think about the tournament
being
because it
super
just
tense.
like overwhelms me completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a difference between distracting yourself
Mm.
from your thoughts and like just being there for holiday, I guess.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So
So, what advice do you have for people who are maybe looking to be in the national team? They haven't broken through that national level qualification yet, or are going to have gone to 2 or 3 world championships, and they haven't made the breakthrough that they wanted to yet. They haven't won around internationally. What's your advice to them in terms of being a South African that's able to do something?
I definitely think that if you are selected and you are competing at that tournament, you're definitely meant to be there.
Okay.
I think that's the first thing, is actually acknowledging that you are supposed to be there. I think the first World Championships that I went to in 2015, I
Indonesia.
lost my first round,
Mm.
and
No, we were there together.
we were, yes. And I think to me it was devastating,
Yeah.
but I feel like to me back then I was just okay with gaining some experience. So I guess my mindset also wasn't
different.
the greatest back then. And then in 2017 in Tenerife for my second World Championships,
Okay.
I made one round. But my mentality back then was, okay, yeah, I'm not here for the experience really. I just want to make one round. And so I did. And then this time I was like to myself, you know what? No, I'm in a medal, you know, like, and I think it definitely, like, it starts there. I think if your mentality is not going there to win a medal or like just like do the best you can, you're not going to. So I just think my advice is you need to get your mindset up there, man.
Ooh.
Like, and it's definitely it's not easy at all,
No, it's
because like doubt is a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's not abnormal to doubt yourself. So I just think it's mindset. I think that really I actually think it only really came through in the warm up area, because
Okay.
I was like, throughout the whole tour, obviously I was like, I'm gonna do well, I'm gonna do quite a few rounds, like, you know, I got this. And then in the warm up area, like, I was looking at my competitors, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, they're so good, they're so intimidating.
Yeah.
But then I was like warming up, and I was throwing some of my techniques, and I was like, you know what, I'm good too. Like, I'm here for a reason, and like I was
That's
selected
super
for a
important,
reason.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what, like, screw the mentality of like going there for experience or going there for one round. Like,
100%.
I'm gonna win this thing. And like, I ended up getting a medal. And
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who believed you should have won that semi-final against
thank
Egypt.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's just mindset, I think, is like, obviously you're not going to get there without doing the proper training, the proper physical training, but your mindset is where it starts and where it ends, I think. Yeah, I just think you need to believe in yourself.
Sure.
Because a lot of people go there obviously maybe with the mindset of doing well, but they don't back themselves in the fight itself or while they're doing their kata.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
My advice would just be keep pushing.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
even if you do believe in yourself and you don't get to where you want to be, just keep pushing. Like,
that's excellent.
Obviously there's no guarantee. Like, I'm not saying, oh, okay, if you believe in yourself, like, but it just makes things so much easier. Like, it makes it so much easier to back yourself, to trust your techniques, to just give it your all. And I also think that I was hungry for points, if that makes sense.
Sure. So there was a result based factor, and there was also a performance based factor.
Definitely. it's just like I went into every round thinking, okay, this is my first round. It's not my second round, third round, semi-final. This is my first round of the World Championships.
Yeah.
And I need to be hungry for points. Yeah, I just think that
that first match was a tussle, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
What was the end score? Something like 7-4, eh?
Like, yeah, I think 7-4, 7-5.
Yeah, and you came back from an Ippon landing initially. That's crazy, man. So it's like Ippon, Senshu.
And I think my mentality usually is if I get scored on with something as high as 3 points, my mindset's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to come back from this? And I just thought, you know what, like, reset the score. Like, it's not 3-0, it's 0-0. We start from scratch. And I think that helped me quite a bit, because I guess if you focus on being behind on points, it's definitely going to affect you.
I think you've come a long way with that regard this year, because I mean, I remember being with you in Shanghai.
Yes.
Earlier on this year, and you fought Zaretska.
Yeah.
Irina, who's the current world champion and the current grand winner, which is serious competition. And I remember you taking 2 points of her.
Yeah.
In the initial part of the fight.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, holy shit.
Yeah, just I think like even me myself, I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, okay, this is actually like happening. And even then, like, that's also where mindset comes in, because if you don't believe in yourself, like, because back then I didn't.
Yeah.
So when I scored those 2 points, I was like, whoa, what? Like, did that actually happen?
Yeah, and then your demeanor changed immediately after losing that first point.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different scenario to what you see. Well, I've seen your fights on video, but also what the scoreboard told.
Yeah.
Frame by frame in Santiago. So, what are your focuses for the future?
Well,
where are we going to catch Danielle Van Wyk in the future?
Well, for near future, I'm just hoping to do as many Premier Leagues as I can. And obviously African Championships is a huge focus for me. That is if I get selected. But
selection is an uncontrollable factor.
That's true. It's an external factor. And so if I'm not selected, it's not something that would affect me that much, like to the extent that I would be insecure again, like from the start. Like if I'm supposed to be there, I'll be there, and like that's something I believe. That's something I've believed in since I was young. Like you are exactly where you need to be at any given moment. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if it does happen, that would be one of my main objectives, is to medal at the African Championship. In terms of Premier League events in Series A, I need to try and do as many rounds as possible to try and get into the top 50, because Olympic qualifier is definitely something that I'm working towards.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know how long we've been working for, but I think we can call it a wrap there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
It's been awesome. Like I didn't plan for this podcast at all, but the conversation flowed really nicely. I think there's some awesome content in there. It's like Joe Rogan. I'm coming for you, bro. Yeah. It's like anyway.
Yeah. But I think I just want to end off by saying just thank you to everyone, I guess. Both my former dojo as well as my new family. I think support from your dojo or your family, as I like to call it, is very important. Because if you don't have people backing you back home, it's difficult to compete, I guess. But so I would just like to give thanks to everyone who was a part of that process. So as well as the coaches on the tour, awesome. Because they also influenced my thoughts quite a bit.
That's that's a
Yeah.
really big victory for KSA coaching.
Yeah, and
That they were able to assist
yeah,
in something as big as your medal at a world
yeah.
championship. That's massive for KSA coaching. Yeah.
But yeah, they did a pretty amazing job with each and every one of the athletes.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you.